Hello everyone, welcome back to AGRIFARMING. If you are new here, welcome to AGRIFARMING. Today we will be discussing about organic farming. Please like and subscribe this channel and please press the bell button to notify you whenever a new video is uploaded. Now let's get into it. Organic farming is an agricultural system which originated early in the 20th century in reaction to rapidly changing farming practices. Certified organic agriculture accounts for 70 million hectares globally, with over half of that total in Australia. Organic farming continues to be developed by various organizations today. It is defined by the use of fertilizers of organic origin such as compost manure, green manure, and bone meal, and place emphasis on techniques such as crop rotation and companion planting. Biological pest control, mixed cropping, and the fostering of insect predators are encouraged. Organic standards are designed to allow the use of naturally occurring substances while prohibiting or strictly limiting synthetic substances. Reasons for advocacy of organic farming include advantages in sustainability, openness, self-sufficiency, autonomy or independence, health, food security, and food safety. What are the methods of organic farming? Organic farming methods combine scientific knowledge of ecology and some modern technology with traditional farming practices based on naturally occurring biological processes. The first method is crop diversity. Organic farming encourages crop diversity. The science of agroecology has revealed the benefits of polyculture, which is often employed in organic farming. Planting a variety of vegetable crops supports a wide range of beneficial insects, soil microorganisms, and other factors that add up to overall farm health. Crop diversity helps environments thrive and protects species from going extinct. The next method is weed management. Organic weed management promotes weed suppression rather than weed elimination by enhancing crop competition and phytotoxic effects on weeds. Organic farmers integrate cultural, biological, mechanical, physical, and chemical tactics to manage weeds without synthetic herbicides. Mechanical and physical weed control practices used on organic farms can be broadly grouped as tillage, mowing and cutting, flame weeding, and thermal weeding, mulching. In tillage, turning the soil between crops to incorporate crop residues and soil amendments, remove existing weed growth, and prepare a seed bed for planting. Mowing and cutting means removing of top growth of weeds. Flame weeding and thermal weeding refers to using heat to kill weeds, and mulching refers to blocking weed emergence with organic materials, plastic films, and landscape fabric. The next method is controlling other organisms. Organisms aside from weeds that cause problems on organic farms include arthropods, nematodes, fungi, and bacteria. Organic practices include, but are not limited to, encouraging predatory beneficial insects to control pests by serving them nursery plants and alternative habitat, usually in the form of shelter belt, hedgerow, or beetle bank. The next is encouraging beneficial microorganisms. Number third is rotating crops to different locations from year to year to interrupt pest reproduction cycle. Next is planting companion crops and pest-repelling plants that discourage or divert pests. Using row covers to protect crops during pest migration periods. Using biologic pesticides and herbicides. Using stale seed beds to germinate and destroy weeds before planting. Using sanitation to remove pest habitat. Using insect traps to monitor and control insect populations, and using physical barriers such as row covers. Soil management. Organic farming relies heavily on the natural breakdown of organic matter, using techniques like green manure and composting to replace nutrients taken from the soil by previous crops. This biological process, driven by microorganisms such as mycorrhiza and earthworms, allow the natural production of nutrients in the soil throughout the growing season and has been referred to as feeding the soil to feed the plant. Organic farming uses a variety of methods to improve soil fertility, including crop rotation, cover cropping, reduced tillage, and application of compost. The next method is livestock. Raising livestock and poultry for meat, dairy, and eggs is another traditional farming activity that complements growing. Organic farms attempt to provide animals with natural living conditions and feed. Organic certification verifies that livestock are raised according to the USDA organic regulations throughout their lives. These regulations include the requirement that all animal feed must be certified organic. The last method is tools. Organic farmers use a number of traditional farm tools to do farming. Due to the goals of sustainability in organic farmers try to minimize their reliance on fossil fuels. In the developing world, on small organic farms, tools are normally constrained to hand tools and diesel-powered water pumps. Types of organic farming. There are three types of organic farming. They are pure organic farming, integrated organic farming, and integration of different farming systems. In pure organic farming, it involves the use of organic manures and biopesticides with complete avoidance of inorganic chemicals and pesticides. In integrated organic farming, it involves integrated nutrients management and integrated pest management. It is the type of farming in which development of crops from natural resources having the complete nutritive value and manages to prevent the crop or plants from the pest. In integration of different farming systems involve several other components of farming such as poultry, mushroom production, goat rearing, and fish pond simultaneously with regular crop components. How to control pests and diseases organically? Before we know this answer, first we have to understand what is natural pest and disease control. Pests and disease are part of the natural environmental system. In this system, there is a balance between predators and pests. This is the nature's way of controlling populations. The creatures that we call pests and the organisms that cause disease only become pests and diseases when their activities start to damage crops and affect yields. Once a pest or disease has started to attack a crop, the damage cannot be repaired and control becomes increasingly difficult. Where possible, use techniques to avoid or prevent pests and disease attack in the first place. So, the methods of pest and disease control are: number 1, a healthy soil, a healthy crop, resistant varieties, rotation, good hygiene, soil tillage, soil pH, timely sowing, companion planting, plant to attract predators and parasites, barriers, traps, light traps, fly traps, handpicking, biological control, natural pesticides, and soil prevention. Why is natural control preferable to chemical control? Pesticides do not solve the pest problems. In the past 50 years, insecticides use has increased tenfold, while crop losses from pest damage have doubled. Here are three important reasons why natural control is preferable to pesticide use. Number 1 is cost. Using natural pest and disease control is often cheaper than applying chemical pesticides because natural methods do not require buying expensive materials from the outside. Products and materials which are already in the home and around the farm are most often used. Number 2 is safety for people. There is much concern over the dangers of chemical products. They may be misused because the instructions are not written in the language spoken by the person using the product. There have been many reports of people suffering from severe skin rashes and headaches as a result of using chemical pesticides. The third solution is safety for the environment. Pests are often controlled with man-made chemicals which have many harmful effects. For example, artificial chemicals kill useful insects which eat pests. Artificial chemicals can stay in the environment and in the bodies of animals, causing problems for many years. Artificial products are very simple chemicals, and insect pests can be quickly, over a few breeding cycles, become resistant to them and no longer be controlled. Controlling of pests, one of the easiest way is to use barrier. Barriers are physical structure put in place to prevent a pest from reaching a plant. They keep pests away from a plant but do not kill them. There are some examples that you can adopt depending on the resources available to you. The first is crawling insects. Cut the top of a transparent plastic bottle and place it firmly into the ground over a young plant. This stops pests such as slugs from reaching the plant. The second is climbing insects. To help protect trees from attack by insects, grease bands can be used. Wrap a piece of plastic for a long leaf around the trunk of the tree. Spread any kind of thick grease on top of this. Fold over the top of the foil or plastic to form an overhang to protect the grease from being washed away by rain. Check the grease every week to ensure that the grease is intact. This prevents crawling insects such as ants, fruit fly, slugs, snails, beetles or caterpillars from damaging trees, especially fruit trees or grain stores. The next is termites. Digging a 70 to 100 centimeter trench around buildings and nurseries can prevent attack from subterranean subspecies of termites. This is good method of control, however, it is a hard work. Alternatively, barriers can be built. This should be partially above and below ground and should be made from material that is impenetrable to termites such as basalt, sand, or crushed volcanic cinders. Now, let's discuss the difference between conventional farming and organic farming. In conventional farming, farmers apply chemical fertilizers to soil to grow crops. They spray crops with insecticides and pesticides to prevent them from being damaged by pests and disease. They use herbicides to stop the growth of weeds. In organic farmers, they use build soil with natural fertilizers in order to grow crops. They rely on the natural enemies of pests. They use crop rotation to conserve soil and pull out weeds by hand. The advantages of organic farming are farmers can reduce their production costs because they do not need to buy expensive chemicals and fertilizers. They are healthier farm workers. In the long term, organic farms save energy and protect the environment. It can slow down global warming. Fewer residues in food and more animals and plants can live in the same place in a natural way. This is called biodiversity, and pollution of groundwater is stopped. The disadvantages of organic farming are organic food is more expensive because farmers do not get as much out of their land as conventional farmers do. Organic products may cost up to 40% more. Production costs are higher because farmers need more workers. Marketing and distribution is not efficient because organic food is produced in smaller amounts. Food illness may happen more often. Organic farming cannot produce enough food that the world's population needs to survive. This could lead to starvation in countries that produce enough food today. What are the major problems and constraints for organic farming in India? The first problem is lack of awareness. The most important constraint felt in the progress of organic farming is the inability of the government policy making level to take a firm decision to promote organic culture. The second problem is output marketing problems. It is found that before the beginning of the cultivation of organic crops, their marketability and that too at a premium over the conventional produce has to be assured. inability to obtain a premium price, at least during the period required to achieve the productivity levels of the conventional crop, will be set back. The third problem is shortage of biomass. Many experts and well-informed farmers are not sure whether all the nutrients with the required quantities can be made available by the organic materials. Even if this problem can be submerged, they are of the view that available organic matter is not simply enough to meet the requirements. The next problem is inadequate supporting infrastructure. In spite of the adoption of the NPOP during 2000, the state governments are yet to formulate policies and a credible mechanism to implement them. There are only 4 agencies for accreditation, and their expertise is limited to fruits and vegetables, tea, coffee, and spices. The certifying agencies are inadequate. The next problem is high input cost. The small and marginal farmers in India have been practicing a sort of organic farming in the form of the traditional farming system. They use local or own farm renewable resources and carry on the agricultural practices in an ecologically friendly environment. However, now the costs of the organic inputs are higher than those of industrially produced chemical fertilizers and pesticides, including other inputs used in the conventional farming system. One of the most important problems is low yield. In many cases, the farmer experiences some loss in yields on discarding synthetic inputs on conversion of their farming method from conventional to organic. It may also be possible that it will take years to make organic production possible on the farm.